Okay, I don't know what just happened. My phone just sporadically dialed 911. It just sporadically dialed 911 and it did it twice. I guess maybe it's the way my phone is positioned or something, and maybe it hit, I hit a certain bump or something, so I don't know. But anyway, what I was saying, we definitely need to learn the difference between prophecy, clairvoyance, psychic, a word of knowledge. And so I think the way that I ended the last video, when God will speak to his prophets, if you go to the Old Testament, he would visit his prophets by way of dream or vision and let them know, you are my prophet, right? Because he's speaking. And then, if you've had an encounter where God actually talks, I mean, who's going to stop you from saying what God has said? Nobody. You just talk to him, right? So it doesn't matter what people think. Now, coming into the new covenant, people have been saying it's different. It's not the same. God is not necessarily audible. You can also hear him. You hear him they have a whole breakdown. And I actually took it was like a series of people put together where you learn the Greek words. And I can't think of them off top. But there's names for it, like when you hear through your eyes, like just what you see, and then it's through the ears. It's different. There were different ways that they explain it. But for me personally, as a prophetic dreamer, obviously, I'm hearing God through dreams. So that's just the way God talks to me when he chooses to reveal or talk to me about something. It's through dreams most of the time. And I've had 2 visions in my life. Okay, 2 open visions in my life. Not a lot, but 2 of them. But as far as prophetic dreaming, where God has spoken, yes, it has happened. And I know that offends people because they don't believe that. Well, that is your problem. I'm sorry, but that is your problem. God he's alive. He's living. He is not confined to what you believe of him. He's not. So, sometimes you find yourself not wanting to say it because you're like, I know people are going to unsub and I don't care. Get to stepping. I don't care anymore. So, anyway, I think we need to revisit the definitions and what it all means, because prophecy is God giving his prophetic people a word to release that's going to come to pass, or a warning that will come to pass if the warning is not heeded. Prophecy is not okay. It's and that's one part of prophecy. Really, in the new covenant, really, it's to exhort, edify, and to comfort. That's really what he wants us to use it for. That's what he wants us to use it for. But it's not to say he won't visit his people, his prophetic people, and say, hey, warn about this, go talk to this person about that. But it still always comes back around to mercy and grace. So what prophecy is not, okay, if you don't see those elements of comfort there, if you don't see edification, if you don't see exhortation there, even if you see a warning, if you don't see those elements there, then it's not prophecy. It's not new covenant prophecy anyway. If you see people that just use it as a means to be like a vengeful thing. Oh, you spoke against me, you did this or that against me, this is what's going to happen to you. Yeah, that's not prophecy. That's not prophecy. That's flesh. If you see people with prophecy, what's the other thing they'll call prophecy? Looking at a picture, and now they're picking up on things about that person. Unless you can biblically back what you're doing, that's not prophecy, that's psychic. Because that's what psychics do. They pick up on energy. And then they're able to read a person's energy. We don't have to look at nobody's picture, because God is present at all times. If you were If you make your bed in hell, he's there. We don't have to look at a picture of a person to look. What are you looking at? Okay, so why? Why do you need their picture? This person should be able to be 3,000 miles away from you. You've never seen them. You don't know nothing about them. But if the Holy Spirit reveals some information to you to comfort, exhort, or edify, he's going to do so without you having to look at that person. So to me, when someone looks at a picture, I find that very, very suspect. I find it suspect, and I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't receive the word. If you ask for my picture or a family member's picture, I'm not going down that route with you. And no, I'm not going to believe that you're prophetic. I'm going to believe that you have some kind of psychic tendency that you very well may be born with. Now, check out my video on clairvoyance. I said they're born that way. I said that. It's not that they're not born that way. It's not that it's not real. It's that it's not prophecy. It's that it's not a prophet. They're two different people. They're not the same. They're not the same. And a lot of times it comes by way of something in the bloodline that has not been cleansed. And of course, and people who, who enjoy that, they're going to say things like, why should I, that I've heard witches say things like, are Christians out here trying to tell people, to basically pray and break, that gift, because they call it a gift or whatever. It's not a gift. It's not a gift. It's not a gift if the source isn't God. God is the giver of all spiritual gifts. If you don't get your spiritual gift from God, then who gave it to you and for what purpose? Okay? Why are you tapped in like that? Okay, so anyway, that's that. But that's that on that. But I think there needs to be a further breakdown of that, Now, then there's the word of knowledge. I had to do a little research on the word of knowledge because I'm like, okay, there are times where, you may have been in front of someone who you think is a prophet and they are able to know things about you. But then, they're able to comfort and exhort and edify. So I need to look a little more into the word of knowledge. It's not a gift that I have. I don't have that gift. So I need to look a little more into it. I know you can find it in 1 Corinthians and see exactly how is that gift supposed to operate, though. How is it supposed to operate? Because people are using it in the same way. Like, okay, I can see this happened in your life, and then this happened in your life, and now that's going. So I don't know if that's accurate, if that's how it's supposed to be used. But I'm going to look more into it. I'm going to actually do more study on it. But a word of knowledge is also not the same as prophecy. So, that's just the thing. It's different. A prophet is just a prophecy, and a prophet is just not what people are saying it is today. So yeah, we have to look into it. But anyway, I'm going to research the word of knowledge though. But anyway, I wanted to talk about those things, and my point was, after talking with my friend yesterday, and it just made me say, I'm gonna make a video about it, because that was such a confirmation, because that's exactly what has been going on for years on YouTube, just talking about people, a lot of gossip, a lot of bitterness, things that has been spread by people who honestly think they are doing God's work. Oh, I know what the other thing I wanted to talk about. So the Druski skit, that's what I wanted to talk about. So now when Druski, this man, he put out the skit, he was clowning the church, the so-called mega churches, but overall, like I said in my videos, he's not you are nobody to talk about anything concerning the church. The church belongs to God. The church belongs to Yeshua of Nazareth. He will correct the church, not a devil. Not a devil. Keep your opinions to yourself, right? That, and also how he had the red bottom shoes. I'm walking in the blood of Christ. Wasn't nothing about that funny. Keep your mouth off of the blood of Christ, right? Now, I was one of the few, maybe even only, and I don't think I heard nobody else, but I was one of the few, if someone else did, I was one of the few to stand against that and say, that's not funny. That's not funny. And the rest of y'all, I'm sorry, not the rest, but a lot of y'all, and especially some of the main characters that I knew was going to do that, was cheering it on, talking about God used him. Oh, you're so full of lies. God used him, and just, and I expected it. I knew that they were going to do that. But now, oh, he done touched Miss Daisy. Oh, y'all crying. You're a bunch of hypocrites. Because he did that, the skit on the conservative women. It was supposed to be representing conservative women, and then he was pretty much mocking Erika Kirk, right? And so now all of a sudden, oh, he's not funny anymore. You cowards, he's not funny anymore. It was funny when he was mocking the church, right? Which is weird that you would think that was funny, but you did. And it was funny when he was mocking the church. Oh, but now he's mocking your idol, right? Isn't that what y'all say? Your altar. He touched your altar. That's what happened. He touched your sacred cow, right? Now he's a problem. You're a bunch of hypocrites. Now he's wrong. He was wrong when he touched the church. Oh, I'm going to need you to get over, sir. He was wrong when he touched the church. So, yeah, I noticed that. It was quite obvious to me, in fact. Some of these people are so full of hypocrisy. They're full of hypocrisy. And then to say that, I'm not going to get into the subject of racism in the church because I just don't feel like it. But I thought was very interesting, though, because they are bringing racism into it. But what was very interesting when I watched that skit, when he said, it was obviously a parody, so he exaggerates, but where she says, and for the white men, only you. We only care about you. Something like that. And I was like, did she really say something even along those lines? I was like, no way. And then I found the video where she really did. Especially our white males. That's what she said. And you tap dancing cowards got the audacity to speak to black Christians? If you don't sit down and shut your mouth, if you don't shut your absolutely ignorant mouths. What Christian stands up there and says that? What do you mean only the white men? I don't, okay, whatever. So anyway, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, and I'll talk to y'all later. And this is unfortunately this is going to be, this is 2 parts, but just keep yourself strong. Keep yourself strong in Yeshua. Continue to pray for one another as we are instructed to, and to spend that time in the presence of the Holy Spirit, however He draws you in, however He chooses, right? Because we need it. We need that comfort sometimes. We just need that comfort. He's there to comfort us. He's there to pull us through. So I'm grateful for that because I need it. I need it often, especially when I see the state of the church. It's like, ooh, Lord. So, so I'll talk to y'all later.